Hey, what's up? It's your boy Bobby Sapphire, and it is time for the KTOD Radio Podcast, episode 35. We got the whole KTOD here. Maddie showing off the new gear with the black tees with the patch. Justin looks like he's still at work. Maybe he logged into a Zoom conference or something.
What do you mean? It's Sunday. What do you mean? I just won a PQ yesterday.
Oh shoot! That's true. Maybe you just won a PQ yesterday. That'd be cool.
I did, right?
Yeah.
It's Sunday, 6 a.m.
Sunday, 6 a.m.
And
Steve's drinking 6 a.m. wine. You love to see it. So today we're going to talk about the Galactic Championship Countdown. The final 2 weeks, I guess 1 week now, PQs. We're going to talk about some Legends of the Force cards that we're kind of higher and lower on than we were in these last couple weeks. And if we have time, we'll rank the color combos in Heroic. But we've got lots of Galactic Championship news that came out this week too. Before we get started, just want to shout out our sponsor, Metal Fab. I think I can now reveal the World's coin. Maybe I won't zoom in on it, but there's the World's token. I don't know if I've done that yet, but it's like a poker chip villain.
That's cool. I love when they tie it to the location like that instead of maybe saying participant on it.
Yeah. Maybe a better call.
The only thing is, like, it's probably gonna be a wild weekend, and we're like, go to the poker table and be like, bet it all on black, and just drop a bunch of like KTOD coins.
Yeah.
And
what if you hit your roulette number, but you accidentally put the chip?
Yeah,
sir,
that would hurt.
This isn't a KTOD hotel, although coming soon, right? KTOD casinos.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Metal Fab does have a Force token out. So if you are into Force tokens, he's gonna have them at Worlds. I'm definitely. He hasn't gotten back to me on the KTOD Force token. I gotta hit him up about that because I think my design's really cool. But shout out to B-Flow and Metal Fab. And speaking of shouting out B-Flow, B-Flow, one of our VIP members who, our biggest supporters, our most loyal supporters. So thanks to these guys.
Excited for future hangs with the VIPs.
Yep, I got something special for Vegas. That's all I'll say right now. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's very fun.
I'm excited for all the special stuff that we all have cooked up for Vegas. Our K2D merch, sneakers. What else we got?
Shit.
Oh, I get stuff I haven't even told you guys about.
Wait, I didn't get stuff. I didn't pick out my sneakers yet. TBD.
Get on it.
Yeah, we got the unique vibes. It's gonna be sick, Maddie. Let's look this week.
I think I'm getting slides.
Ooh, baby.
Nice.
You could just go like bathrobe and slides.
Johnny Drama style.
Yeah,
it is cool that we don't have to leave the resort, right? Like we're just in the hotel the whole time.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And it's 2 hotels in one, so it's like even bigger than usual. Which is great.
Yeah.
You get the Palazzo and the Venetian.
I'm getting pretty excited. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, the hype.
I don't want to get too
crazy. I know we're
early,
gonna talk
but I'm
about
pretty excited.
It's so soon.
Yeah,
like,
it's a month away.
It felt so far away forever, and now it's like, it's a month away, but it's like 4th of July weeks in the middle. Like, there's going to be it's gonna be here.
Hold that.
Weeks are gonna melt in front of your eyes.
I've got the calendars coming up. But
it feels very, very far away from me.
After that glass of wine, it might feel a little closer.
Yeah, seriously. All right. Cool. We got our shop on Fourth Wall with all the aforementioned gear. You can check it out. We still have a few of the K2D Masterpiece boxes and mat packs left. But the gear is sick. I was wearing the gear at my school after party this week, and everyone was loving it. They love feeling how soft it is. KTOD-shop.fourthwall.com. All right. So, PQs, Justin, you just played in a PQ yesterday.
So, the joke is we're recording earlier, and I have one coming up this week in Philly. Super excited to play. So much of my focus has been on set 5 and like gaming with that and chatting and gaming and mixing it up with, all the groups that we have in the Discord. But I kind of have to go back in time a little bit to like lock in. I'm going to play Sabine Data Vault. I really like what it's doing. I think it's set 4 is a little bit, it sort of is what it is, right? Like you're kind of sitting there. I don't think there's going to be any further innovation. I haven't spent a ton of time on it, but I think it's one of the decks that can win right now. And we see from this slide, like, there's a lot of decks that can win, right? Boba Data Vault, you see a Vader Data Vault one, the Vader Yellow is certainly popping up. I mean, this is like the usual suspects, but a wide angle of the usual suspects, right? Like, I think the Iden is probably one that's a little bit, I guess the Iden and Piet maybe, and the Vader. The OG Vader are the ones that are probably a little bit more unexpected, but I think at this point it's like play a deck you've had some experience with. Um, I was streaming a little bit with some gameplay, and I like it as good as anything, I guess is what I'm saying. Like I don't think I'm super thrilled with the deck right now, um, but I'm just gonna play the games and cast the card Radis because that card's cool.
Radis is a
Ooh.
baller.
You're playing
You got
Radis
Radis in there. That
Sabine?
is hot.
That's gross.
Radis is
Yo,
stupid.
yeah, I just like to look at it. I got out of my mojo. You ready? That is such a good point. Like with these late meta PQs, it that like I know we just had a little technical difficulty wrapping back into it. It wasn't me this time, I swear. Like there is so much variance that comes into play in like a tournament, especially one where you have to spike it, that I think if you're comfortable with what you're doing and you know what you need to do, like that is acceptance. It's like I've been watching a lot of World Series of Poker. It's like I'm gonna play my range, right? Like, and in that range, there's these different hands, and there's some variance of what cards they get, and maybe they have blockers, and they suss out some of my bluffs or whatever it is, right? But there's these things that you can't control. But all you can do is know your line, in this case lines, because we're playing multiple lines over a course of game, and you just go with it. And I think that you saw some success there with the Sabine Data Vault, and you know what that game plan is. It's a little different. It's like adding in some frequency of bluffs. People are gonna be like, "Whoa, what's going on?" I love that for you. I think that's great. I probably, I don't have any more PQs, but I'd probably be doing something similar, like and I think that's a good way to approach it.
And you had success at the end with Han too, like at the regional, and like I think that's where a lot of people are going to be, which is like, the way I look at this deck is like you can win a matchup that you could lose with this deck, which is like obvious stuff, right? But like sometimes it's just like you had the answer to their entrenched against Ray, and like, or they didn't draw their entrenched, and you were able to push in space, and they didn't draw like all their Yodas to get his max restore. You know what I mean? And you had There is a certain level of variance, which I think, like in the beginning of the game, and we've spoken about this before. In the beginning of the game, like people didn't have like deck lists that were posted. Like there was less of like the public lists posted and all that stuff. So it was like easy to kind of like to show up with something reasonable and kind of know you were going to win. Now this game has moved into a space similar to Magic, where like it does have to be your day. You have to play well. You have to have, but you have to get a little luck, and you have to get some matchups, and you have to like your hand has to be good, and you have to like top deck your for CV for 4, or you know what I mean, like. And that's just like where we're at, and I think there's certainly a skill set because we see the same people doing really well over and over again. Mike top 8 whatever it was, 10 PQs or what have you. But I think, at this late in the meta, I think you kind of just got to slide into a spot and hope for the best, and play your best and hope for the best.
Yeah, and the meta's pretty stable. Like you know what you're gonna face. There's not gonna be too many surprises. So. There's no reason not to be fully prepared for whatever's going to come down the road, and you kind of get to pick your battles on which matchups you want to punt, and which ones you don't, or maybe because you're playing a Data Vault version that can do silly things. Like
I got 33 to play around with. I got some wiggle room.
You get a lot of wiggle room for Radis.
So do you just
timely?
Do you use Sabine every turn, no matter what, because of that?
I mean, you don't use it when like you can get the damage from like just action claiming, but pretty much like if they've claimed, you almost always ping. There's like almost no matchups where you don't ping.
Whereas before it was like it was very scary.
Like against like a Han deck, you'd almost never ping, even if they like claimed you wouldn't ping because it's like they're actually the aggressor.
It's kind of a similar thing to like the Boba Data Vault deck. Like sometimes I'll get to a position against that deck where I feel like I can't lose, but then like the culmination of all the indirect damage over the course of the game just kind of gets you in the end. And I feel like Sabine can even do that better. Yeah, I like that a lot.
You go along, you have timelies, and you hope to wreck or something, and then after you wreck, you're hoping to ping, and then after you ping, you're hoping to like get one card in. It's like, well, I did my duty. I did my job.
One of the things you wanted to talk about was, Justin, was the gap between these PQs and Worlds, and we kind of talked about that at the top of the show a little bit. But PQs end the weekend of the 29th. That's Sunday's the last of the PQs, and then of course the Galactic Championship. I would assume everyone's going to be there by the end of the day on Thursday, so the 24th is kind of that date. So it's less than a month.
Yeah, I think it's like, what are we doing the week of the 7th? What are people doing the week before Worlds? What are people doing like the last week of June into July 4th?
Mm-hmm.
Like
When
our group
does
testing and stuff like that. But also just like, what are you doing? You're just jamming infinite games of set 5. What's the actual like gaming process? And then the other thing is like, where are you actually sourcing your like meta? And that's I think people are going to make assumptions. Like you just very easily set up um a whatever that was last weekend, right? Of like PQ results, and we're able to see like Kira, and you're able to see Han, and you're able to see some, and it's like, what are we pulling? Are we pulling them from like store showdowns? Like, what is actually happening? And then the other side is like the set actually isn't out until, I mean, it's been out for a while in terms of like people are playtesting with it, but like
Yeah.
it's not out until the 12th, which is 2 weeks, which is less than 2 weeks before like Worlds. So
Right.
Be ripping packs, baby.
Yeah, ripping
Yeah,
packs,
crowdsourcing
pre-orders,
decks,
getting stuff ready. I mean, the scramble for cards is going to be real.
Almost to the point where I wonder, like, if day one, because it might be like more casual, like how many people aren't playing like Force decks because they're just
I
like,
wonder
man, I
that
can't
too.
get off
How
my
many
hands on
people
that.
don't have Vader?
if you're flying to Vegas to play cards, I'm sure you
Yeah.
can afford a case. You're gonna have your cards. Like, I don't think that's gonna be an issue.
I know, but you get a case, you don't get 3 of most legendaries. You know,
Remember
like
when
if
the
you're
print
trying
run
to play
was
like
messed up?
Vader
Then you
and
really
Kira
could get
ECL
screwed.
or something, you're not necessarily going to have 3 Anakin, 3 Vader ready to go.
Yeah, but I
Maybe
think
they
if
spent
that-
all their money on the flight. Can't
What's
get it.
Steve?
I was just gonna say, like, if you know you're playing Kira, like, I don't think you're buying a case. You're probably just gonna buy 3 Vaders, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Because that's the only card you're gonna use.
But
If you're playing one of the Force decks, you're probably cracking packs like crazy. I mean, I'm sure between the 4 of us all getting a case, we might be able to build 2 complete decks, and then we'll have to.
Thank God that
hustle
Bendu
for
was
the other
cheap.
stuff.
Yeah, we're going to talk about
Bendu stocks.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it feels like a lot, but when you highlight this, it's it's less than 4 weeks away
Yeah, it's kinda
from the end of
crazy.
the PQ season. But we've got
Yeah,
a month.
I don't think they could really have done any PQs though. Maybe they could have done like because what pre-releases are the 4th and the 5th.
Pre-release is
that-
the 5th and the 6th, yeah, and then the release is the 12th. But if you get cards from your pre-release, you can pick them up that day. So you could like get your cases if you're going to a pre-release where you got your cases from.
I
So
kind of
I
like
guess,
the that there's nothing until Worlds. Like it is kind of,
I mean, there's really
No
no
man's
space
land.
for it in a sense.
Yeah,
Well, with
it's
the
just
peaks,
we've got to
like,
figure out where how we're
what is it
gonna
called?
estimate. Sorry, what'd you say?
Well,
Me?
Yeah,
I was gonna say, like, there's really no time for any more PQs. I think
But,
like the moral of this whole story is that we should probably just get 2 cases each instead of 1.
That is probably the moral.
Maybe.
But like I feel
make it
like
rain.
and I always kind of go back to Magic for this, but like new event, pro level event, there's like people getting testing off the spoiler. There's usually something that was like definitely on tier below. Like I think of like the SCG Magic events or like a GP that would kind of set the stage. And then the pro teams could kind of look at that and be like, all right, you might be like, oh, what did the SCG grinders miss? And the pro teams are kind of
Right.
sitting back like, haha, no one found our sick tech or whatever. And then like, or the pro teams actually used it and were like, what are these lists? Or like if you can think about like a Magic Online, right? Like with Mike,
yeah, that's what I was just gonna
your-
say.
your
Back
deck
then,
came in second place because you went 5-0 at a Magic Online, and then someone played an Island with Boros Reckoner and came in second. Shout out to Joel Larson, Magic
But-
extraordinaire, multiple PT top 8 competitor.
that was wild
Dude,
though,
you're
because
lit.
Magic Online, the set would drop on like Tuesday or whatever. You had one day, basically, to
Right.
4-0 one of those dailies, and if you
Yeah.
did, every team was going to look at it, which is exactly
Yeah, they could
what
see
I
your
did.
list.
And they were going to see the list, and they were going to be like, all right, this is what people are going to look at. Let's try these. This is what people are brewing up. Let's try these. And yeah, one guy took my list that had an error in the, because you build a
Right.
deck so quick, had an error in the lands, the colors, but he didn't switch it. He just ran it as is.
Played it, that's
and that's how we knew it was my list.
Well,
Because
that's like this game is like that too. Like Todd
Yeah.
had top 8 Richmond, and he had like 2 Inferno 4s in hyperspace, and he was like, "Well, I played the whatever the heel ship was." And he's
Yeah,
like, "It was
Onyx.
one game where I had like both out, and actually that kind of worked out, but it actually wasn't intentional." The guy from the Nordic crew who won the sector over there was like, oh yeah, my Frisks were hyper, my Lukes weren't. So that's what put it over the top for me. And he was like, and Frisk was just nuts. Like Frisk was insane for him.
That's so cool.
Like maybe it was the right decision, but like in the sense of like actually building it,
Right.
he was like, whatever. This is the
process
tiebreaker.
Wasn't clean, but the result was. That's
right.
Some sick results-based thinking that we love to latch on to.
Operation was a success, but we lost the patient.
Yes.
Dude, I think like there's a Magic online. I 4-0'd a daily, and Steve, I think you were playing at the time. I think it was you who were like, "Hey, did you come out of Magic retirement? I saw Gem Pump Polluter 4-0'd a daily." And I was like, how did you catch that? I thought it was you. It was so. It was like 2017.
Yeah, I mean,
it was
we used
so
to
crazy.
Scour that stuff.
Stay on top of that shit, bro.
Yeah, it was so funny. I was like, I didn't tell anyone I was playing Magic right now.
Well, in terms of testing, we're having a live session, which is pretty sick. We're going to have most of the team together live at the lake house. I've been.
Isn't everyone going?
7 out of 8, I believe.
Huh?
And Justin and I have vacation. I have 2 vacations in this 4-week span, actually. I'm going to be on family vacation next week, and then the week that we leave for Vegas, I am on vacation. I'm leaving vacation early. That's like some real get divorced kind of bullshit.
Well, that's the thing.
Is that why you're not flying until Thursday?
Yeah.
Because you're on vacation?
Yeah.
I thought it was like you had to work or you had something real going on.
No,
Why don't you fly in Wednesday night?
Because I'm on family vacation.
Is my wedding anniversary of my 15th wedding anniversary. Shout out to my wife for being cool.
Yeah. Meg's parents got a house down in Rhode Island where we have the whole week. I'm already leaving 2 days early.
Oh,
that's why I tried so hard to get it by. Because I was
celebrating my wedding anniversary where I got
yes.
The whole clan is celebrating.
Was that in Rhode Island? That barn? Was it?
I don't remember.
Barn in
that's wild.
Narragansett.
And the other thing I'm working on is my prep course, which is by now will have
popping
been
off.
launched.
Yeah, that's fire.
Professor Gem.
Yep.
I can't believe that didn't sell out.
How many missing homework
left?
It sold out in a day.
Come on, you should bump it up. After this, you're gonna have
so
much
homework.
Hey, hit us in the comments if you think that Mike should bump it up.
It's already started. Now it's gone. It's sailed. Sorry, you missed it, but thanks.
What if I want to transfer?
I just want to give you
think about it. It's like when you transfer classes in like late September, and you're like it's before drop date.
Yeah, add drop.
I'll be on vacation, so no one's there to add you.
We're
out of the
your vacation has been denied by the school.
Slide into my DMs. I'll add you.
Dude, to get through college, it's crazy that I like did well in law school because to get through college, like add drop was my jam.
Mm-hmm.
That saved me a couple.
I think we're all as surprised as you are that you got through law school.
Are you gonna get any AI assisted homework completed? Like you give a homework assignment.
Do the prompts, yeah.
And then the AI, and they're like, Darth Vader is a very strong and powerful unit.
I'm not ruling it out, but I am good at catching that stuff from my professional life. All right, so Galactic hype is real. Steve, and maybe Justin, you're getting this sick Obi package with this Galactic Championship deck pod. This is even cooler than it looks. I couldn't find pictures, but there's pictures of it open, and it's white on the inside, so it looks really great.
Well,
if anybody wants that, hit me up. I have no desire.
Yeah.
The only thing is, like, allegedly you're going to get it.
Allegedly.
This is true.
Allegedly.
I've been promised things before.
I have been promised things.
My friends have been promised.
Let's put it this way. If the only way to get that is to sit through the entire lunch with FFG, I ain't getting that.
Well, we could find someone to go in there with your badge.
I am not. I respect the fact that they asked if we had any allergies on the form, but I'm not sitting through an entire lunch.
Hopefully, there's just
one of us goes and enjoys a gluten-free meal.
Hey, I have a question.
Enjoys is relative.
The Stitch deck box is insane. What do we get to a point? And I know there's more and cooler ones. Like, are they making too many mats?
Yes,
I think
they dropped so many.
There's a lot of.
There's
mats.
over 20 mats just at this event. There's 13 on the prize wall.
There's too many.
Yeah, way
too many mats.
Too many mats. It's kind
of
the
art is so sick. Like I almost just want like prints or something. Like prints of the art that you could put up in your office. Like I think that would be cool.
It's also
want
like
a print in top 4 Worlds the first year of Destiny. It was like Rey looking off into the sunset on Jakku in the desert.
Like I love that there's good mats. I just think there's so many. It's like, man, I don't know.
Too many. And then you think about ones that came out like sectors and regionals like through the airlock or whatever, and it's like, is anyone gonna want something like that? Like this Ray one is insane. With
that might
the best ones
like
ever.
I love that. I want that mat. I want to use
I
that
want
mat.
that.
But then I look and I have like 17 mats. I'm like, what the
Oh,
heck am I
man.
gonna
Then
do?
you remember it's from Rise of Skywalker, and you're like, never mind.
Well, the weird thing is for the cards that are next to each other, one is like Ray's a 5/5 and he's a 2/3. To me, that kind of like doesn't work.
I agree.
At all.
The Asajj
in terms
and
of that.
Quinlan one work a little bit better. Yeah, because they
Yeah.
actually go together.
Why is Kylo a 2? That's a whole other category.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's cool to have different values of one. Like, I would have loved Mace to be a 2/3, so you could put Mace's saber on him at a low cost and draw 2. That would have been cool.
I mean, no one complained about Luke being a 3/2.
But that was
True, but
perfect
it's
because he was like, that was when he was
Young
still a
Luke.
dweeb.
Yeah,
kind
they're
of.
giving.
Yeah.
We have a lot of Lukes now.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like he's
Like the
thematically-
2/3 version could have been like
He's already
Kylo at
strong
this,
enough.
like studying at the thing
Also,
with the
that's-
weird ladies.
I see what you're saying. That's a good
Luke-
point.
What's up? What's
The
that
first Luke is
island?
also one of the best cards, and then the island's called Ankto.
Yeah.
And the other Kylo has not been great. So like, I don't know. Give us a good Kylo. But the Mortis mat is really sick.
Mortis is cool.
And then the VIP package, I'm hyped that we get this because the acrylic.
See, these are sick.
Acrylic cards come to
Oh, no
Star Wars
shit.
Unlimited. So the
I
VIP
didn't know that.
package, we get acrylic bases.
Now I'm regretting not signing up for VIP.
Did you not?
No, I was like, I'm not paying $500 for that.
Oh, I think I'll get 500 for these, like alone.
That's okay.
I mean, at the time, I was. What I mean,
They picked
whatever.
great ones too. Like I
Yeah.
honestly think
Those
they
are pretty
picked the
sick.
best ones.
Do you think they listened to your advice and just made these in the past month?
Maybe.
It could have been an
From the
aggregate.
dinner.
I don't think necessarily just us, but I think they might have heard like sort of aggregate feedback, and like we might have started started an avalanche of that feedback, and they would hit.
Could be.
It's possible.
Like I like the art on Theed. I think like I would have maybe liked Command Center or Echo just in terms of like the vibe, but like the Theed Palace is beautiful.
Theed Palace.
So I think they crushed the ones that they
Yeah,
picked. And
I
like
would
the
have
new
definitely liked the Death Star too, but
Yeah.
these are good.
Last time, so-
this is a good start. Like if they do something right, I'm cool being like not nitpicking.
They picked like 4 of the main planets. Like Naboo's
Yeah.
so
The
important.
shield,
Yeah.
the shield generator is insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
It's
know.
surprising
So-
to me that Masasi is a red base though.
yeah, that's weird.
Like I feel like it would be
Rebel
green
Assault. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
blue at the worst. But
I mean, it already exists. It's from like whatever set, and just think that
Right.
we.
yeah, I guess I just never saw it
Yeah.
or thought of it.
The other image is like not that insane. Oh, we get these too.
Yeah, VIP also
look
gets
nice.
this deck box. I hope this one's popular. It's black with the gold embossing, which is pretty sick. I think
Yeah.
it's possibly better than the day one buy one. Yeah, I mean it's great for any cunning villainy deck that you might want to play.
Yeah, it
I
makes you
almost
feel like a
got FOMO.
boss in Vegas.
So they released some special prizes too. The top 64 get this exclusive box of 9 specialized lightsaber cards with like their own treatment.
That's cool.
With the championship stamp. They all have like their own unique background. They're all zoomed in on the picture, so it's a pretty cool looking card, I think.
This
I
gives
think
me a
it's
lot
great.
of. Oh yeah, sorry, Justin. Do you,
No,
do
I
you
was
want-
just gonna say I think this is great that like I've heard a few initial complaints saying like, well, these are lightsabers that like aren't gonna get played, but I think it's really cool. I also really like the branding of the Galactic Championships on the card. I think that's super cool. Like this will always be the first one, no matter what. So ideally the game scales and you see prizing get closer to like maybe serialized in the future or something like that. But like early on, this is somewhat adjacent to that, right? Like there's going to be 64 of these only,
Right.
and they're earned through performance, and they're cool, and they come in a cool case, and like the box is nice. So I think like that stuff does matter in games where there's a playability but also a collector side of things, and then these things bring that together where performance can add to this, and like I think it's a really good step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I think it gives me a lot of faith that season 1 is going to have better prizing, because like it's easy to just like replicate this, and maybe I'm hanging myself out to dry and getting too hype for season 1, but like they've called this the like training grounds. Like these are the types of things that we could see at all big events. Like regionals is our nationals. Like that is such a big event, and like the prizing, not to be negative, was a little lackluster in some areas. Like here's where we do it. Like we take what we learned from Galactic, we keep those special, but like we pump up like at least
Prizing at regionals was so bad. You had somebody scooping in the top 8 because they didn't even care enough.
That was one of the
No,
comments
man.
on the video. Someone said like,
Was it?
I was logged in as KTOD, so it tagged me, and it was like, hopefully the prizes are good that the KTOD players actually play.
That's pretty great.
Oh my gosh.
It's true though.
So here's another deck. So top 8. That I just clipped this one.
I got to
The-
dip for a sec.
Okay, the mats and the cards are stamped all the way from like 64 up through 8.
That's cool. That's
With
sweet
that
looking
deck box
data.
to the top 8, and then Justin, you had mentioned potentially
I don't
like
think that Vader's stamped. I think that's only for top 8. I think it's the 8-4-2 champion for the Vader. I think you get the Vader for making the second day.
okay,
You get the Vader for making Sunday. And then you get the box for making top 64. But then you get this package for top 8. So
Gotcha.
there's not like a top 16 Vader.
gotcha.
But there's there's one that's just blank that you will get for day 3, which is amazing. I think this is maybe one of the best single cards they've done in terms of like a prize card.
Yeah, I love the snow troopers in the background. It's so sick.
Yeah.
The mat being similar, like I assume that's the Vader showcase for the. No wait, it's
No,
there's
that's that one Vader.
right. But I'm talking about the mat. That's the same. So when they do a
Same
showcase,
images.
it's the same
new.
image
Yep.
as the new one, but it's not. It's like slightly different.
That's the image from the new blue Vader that comes in the black pack
Gotcha.
at War.
Gotcha. Right. Oh yeah, the one they had a misprinted stat on it.
Yep,
Today in
that's
the image,
it's
right?
that image.
Yeah. So it's like a showcase treatment in that it's the same art. It's like him riding the tie, but it's different.
He's
You
riding
had
a
talked
tie.
today. You had like floated out there, Justin. What does the champion Vader go for? The card.
I think so. I think this is as close. We've seen like Lorcana stuff, and not to tie anything to monetary things. Because if I win Worlds, it's obviously super impossible to think about 3,000 people. I'm not qualified for day 2. But if I was to win, I wouldn't sell it. I would keep it. I think it would be worth that. Layer.
When
that
I
have-
win Worlds, it is for
But-
sale. So slide in my
I think
DMs.
it's a 5-figure. I think it's a 5-figure card.
Okay. We'll see.
I think.
I hope
the
you're right.
champion is a 5-figure card.
I hope you're right. I don't
My
know who
loot
wants
could
to
have been
pay
a
that, but-
4-figure card, but I never got it.
Well, now it's a
Now
5,000.
it's worth exactly 5,000 tickets.
I'm gonna get so many of those, Luke. I'm just gonna like.
You can have mine at this point. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to get there and I'm going to ask them, and they're going to be like, "Oh, we mailed it to you." I'm calling it. I'm calling my shot.
Like, you need to reach out to Mark Hamill and be like, "This is the situation."
Could you imagine?
Maddie's
Get him
not
on the
here.
podcast.
I guess like we don't have to rank the color pairs, but like, I guess like what's a color pair or two that like you're really looking at? Is there one that's like clearly better than
blue.
the other?
Red blue is the best.
Red blue's the best.
I don't know right now, but I do think there's like you're thinking about some of the deck combinations. I think like yellow blue with like Sheen Flurry and the new Vader is like something that's popped up for me. Yellow blue feels like it's getting the most boosts with certain card combinations with like Anakin and Vader and
Yeah,
different
I mean that's villain, but like, is there
Oh, we're
something
doing
specific
Any-
for hero? Yeah.
Anything red, because you can play Force Throw. And they
Yeah,
should
red-
just ban
red
Force
for
Throw. 'cause
hero
it's
and-
broken.
yellow based stuff for villain.
Is red the best color, Steve? In hero?
Yes.
Force throw, Kiadi Mundi.
Yep. It's a
Yeah,
wrap.
Create dragons. at
They
the end.
should ban Force Throw so Fear can play Kira at Worlds.
Good
I
to
like
know. Yeah, I mean, a lot of great red Force decks. And not even just like Force base, but like Quinlan takes great advantage of Force throw. Anakin, you could play with the Force, not the Force. There's just a lot of good ones.
Kiadi Mundi, did we say him?
Yeah, we did. We were
Yeah.
talking about him a
Okay.
little bit. I've
Even
started.
the Night Sister deck is like best in red blue.
Yeah. I agree on the villain. I mean, Force
You know,
throw.
it's a
Force
good-
is just going
good-
a long way.
This guy's pretty good.
Oh, you
Hantu's
got the-
really good.
You got the
Showy.
showcase of that? I didn't know you had that. That's dope.
I've been
Thanks,
looking at
Michael.
Anakin. No problem. I've been looking at Anakin, Anakin Blue, Anakin Yellow. I lost to an Anakin Green today. That was pretty interesting.
Dude, I got rolled by Anakin Green on stream Monday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I tried building it, I couldn't win, but must be user error.
Dude, the other thing I like, yeah, sometimes Anakin's tough. Like, there's some variables there, but like, one thing I really like is like we got like Mace Windu, and like we have. I mean, you probably don't play K2, but that's not the point. And you have what's his name? Anakin himself has Overwhelm, so like dogfight with Overwhelm gets kind of crazy. So I think the green is pretty neat. I had trouble against it with Han 2 in the set 4. Like, that was my kryptonite. I was glad I didn't face it, because that deck like did what I did in a way, but then had a leader that just killed me if I didn't kill them.
Yeah, that's how I felt. The dogfight's interesting. It's like a cheap bravado, but they have to have something out. So
Yeah,
It's a
it's
little-
got some qualifiers, but that's why it's so cheap, which is nice.
yeah. Yeah, I guess out of this, the only colors I guess I haven't been working on at all are probably green, yellow, hero. Have you been working? Oh no, I guess maybe some Obi-Wan, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Have you been
Obi's the one.
Yeah, I even like the blue Obi better though. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of different variants. It's like I think it's just still exploratory. You like try things. Obviously, 4 stars rise on the top, and like
Yeah.
trying to figure out that. But like,
I
I
guess
think we're still in lab mode.
yeah, I guess it makes
Yeah,
sense that
definitely
green,
not.
yellow would be the one I will look at least because it's got the least force stuff, like the least force help. And
I think the
Yeah.
other colors.
It just has a tough time of like blue green villain control, which makes it like sometimes hard to want to like spend too much time on it. It's just like one of those matchups that kind of lines up poorly. Like, because I played a lot of green Obi to start, and it's like you have the Padawan, he starts at 3/4. You have the 4 cost bounce and discard card. That's like pretty decent payoff. You can like make a 4/5 Falcon. Like on paper, it feels like it's doing all these things that are really strong. It's just like
Yeah, then they play a
you get to the
Dragon
end,
you
and
just have
like,
no
and
way
then
to
like,
deal with it.
yeah, if you don't push enough damage early, then like the red green decks are playing Crate Dragons and Caloran and things like that, and the blue have the Lukes or Star Destroyers or what have you, and things to gap that in the meantime. So like, you know, that's tough. It's tough for the yellow green boys out there.
What were you
I think
saying,
the
Steve?
interesting thing is, though, I've tried once or twice and they just all seem god awful. All the double aspect decks are just complete garbage.
There
Which is-
hasn't been as good payoff, right? Like
No,
set 1, we saw all like the named aspect cards, and I was like, this is going to be a thing. And then I don't know, man.
Yeah,
like
that's
then
right.
you
I
get
tried
Zuckus.
doing some mono green this set with both
Oh,
Elspeth
the guy.
and with that guy, and even like try to revisit some Palp a little bit. So I think Sabine's going to be a lot less played at Worlds, but like it's just trash. It's just mopey.
Yeah,
You know?
I thought Doom would be great, but he hasn't been great.
Gets
No.
out
Yeah.
a lot of the other new stuff.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at. I was going to say, oh, I had these out of order because I swapped them, but hey, we just did that. I was going to talk about the Force, but I think we can bypass it. I think we've talked to the Force enough. We were talking about
Yeah.
discrepancies in cards. Bendu is a card that, Justin, you were really high on and I was really low on. I had this as an unplayable coaster on my Legendary review. But I have to admit, it's a lot better than I thought it was. I am much higher on it now. Are you still really high on it, or have you lowered on it?
I've probably lowered on it a little bit. I think it's very playable. I think it's like it's a similar card to like a redemption. In Redemption's, I guess it's opposite Redemption. Redemption's saving you the game, and Bendu's kind of saying, "Okay, answer this or just instantly die."
Mm-hmm.
But it's a card like it doesn't. What's the card that like the Star Destroyer that costs like 11, right? Like
Final.
final, like that's just a card that you look at and you're like, that's never going to be played.
So,
This card is like, jam it. 8's not that much. It's a 10/10, and like, 10 is a lot more than like 5 or 6, and like a lot of like, think about the Vader units. They attack for 5, Bendu attacks for 10, and like, this costs 1 more than like Green Vader. Obviously, Green Vader's like has ambush and is doing other things, but this isn't like out of the realm. And then if you think about playing this guy like in a ramp deck with Green, or like Han 2 playing him as a 10/8, I think he is good. I just think like it's a little bit crowded at the top now too, with like a lot of these decks. Like like if you think about like a Green Hero red deck, it's got like the new Yoda and it's got like Home One, so it's like it's definitely crowded, and there's like an appeal. I always like playing these big cards, but but I think it's certainly playable, and we're gonna see it. Like, it's gonna be in lists.
Yeah, he's
I think
massive.
it's a coaster as an 8-drop, but he's phenomenal as a 7-drop.
Yeah, as a
That's
10
what
I think that's a
Yeah.
great point, Steve. That's exactly hitting it on the head.
Yeah, 10-8 for 7 is pretty wild.
All right.
Baby, who's that?
Shatterpoint. Here's another one that like has caused a lot of like discussion within the team. Is it good? Is it bad? There are decks that I've played where I'm like, all right, I'm only running 3 Shatterpoint, and then it's like, well, I got kept completely off the force this game, so this card does absolutely nothing, and I lose. So, are you higher on this card than originally after some testing, or are you lower on it? I'm lower on it for sure, even though I think it's still really good.
I love it. I think it's great.
I'm still high. I thought it was good. I think it's still good.
I think the key you identified, Mike, is like it can't be your only thing, but it's really like I think that's okay. Like, in its highest high, it gives you more outs to like any type of units giving you trouble, and then like it still has those applications where it's like, you know, killing something that's shielded, like itinerant warrior that's been cheated out by Han, or you know, some weird combat things, and it's like relatively cheap. So I think if you put it around the right stuff, like I think it's still really good. Because like, for instance, like one of the things that I ran into at Richmond, right, with Kira, not to go on a huge tangent, but like things can be really expensive. Like this is 4, you can kill something and do something after. Where like sometimes in the past, it's like, oh, I rivals fall or vanquish something, and like I just don't have enough resource to do something else. I think 4 is pretty critical there. So I still like it. I think it's flexible, but I guess it, you know, it can't be your only removal spell.
When it was first released, everyone kind of just saw it as a catch-all removal spell, and it's not. Like, it actually makes you have to think about how you use the force and when you use the force.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where a lot of people are probably a little underwhelmed with it, because when it first came out, everyone was like, oh, this is just going to be remove anything type of thing. But it's not, because I know myself, when I've been playing a lot of on 2 blue, like I screw up a lot of my sequencing, and I don't always have the force when I need it.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've been covering in a lot of my videos for that class, is just like sequencing with the force, like not overtaxing your hand, not overtaxing your deck, not overtaxing like your board by like trying to do everything with the force. Sometimes you do have to just pick and choose, especially when you're up against it. Like the games when you can get the force multiple times in a turn and trigger everything, like you're winning those games. Like that's not difficult. It's difficult when you have to choose, and what do you choose?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty low on it. I just want my Fel to always be Fel.
Yeah.
So like, and I don't really ever want to be more than 3. I also think the Avenger is a problem for a Shatterpoint. I've gotten locked out a few times where I was just like, you know what? The benefit of playing this to kill, like, what are the cards that you'd say like would be the most problematic that it just always kills on the first option? It's like maybe a Ruthless Raider, maybe like
Village
a tech,
People.
like a Village People. I'd much rather just like do something else for 4 resources, and then when I want to kill like the Devastators and stuff, I just always want to have the card that does that. I don't want to be like, oh, Shatterpoint, I don't have the force, or you know, especially the Avenger lock, like I mentioned, is like really tough to get out of. So
Yeah, I agree.
if Fel didn't exist, I would be like 3 Shatterpoints. Think about like sequencing how to save my force against these decks that have these giant monsters to always have it on mine or whatever. But Fel's there, so I'd just rather just Fel.
Yeah, unless I'm playing like Quinlan and Cat at Worlds, like there's no way I'm not playing Fel in my deck. So no matter what colors, except for those 2 are just too
Maybe
efficient.
even paint it for 6 like Maddie.
Yep, I would.
Hey, sometimes you gotta do it.
All right, Justin.
Fel for 6 was sweet.
Justin and Steve both said you were lower on Vader than originally. I'm still pretty high on him, but down to hear why you guys don't like him so much.
He's still great. I think he's still completely fantastic. I think it's just I'm trying to make him work, and I think he doesn't have a ton of surrounding new stuff. Like Steve mentioned it earlier, like Kira is like, okay, we play 3 of this card, and either maybe you go to ECL or maybe you keep Data Vault and play him with like Timely or something. But like, and there are other cards like you can play like a yellow based one and try to do Sheen Flurry and Anakin and stuff like that. But you know, you do his thing. He oftentimes kills 2 things. Not always, though. It happens a little bit less than I've seen with these giant things around. That he doesn't actually have anything to kill on the ambush. So he just kills, you know, he just kind of fell the dragon or something.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like I don't necessarily love the shells that I'm building around him. I'm kind of like, man, I wish he had a better. Which sounds crazy because like blue green villain has been like one of the top, performing decks. But in the first week, I'm finding less spaces where he just completely takes the game over, and it could be because like force throw is so good that like, this guy costs 6 and you have to use the ambush to really get it like full value, and decks are able to do like, force throw for 1, reset the board, play like cards like Keller and Beck. Like there's so many 2-for-1s now. All these cards have such crazy value. So like you're getting value out of him, but there's just so much value surrounding him. So I'm just a little bit. I still think he's still my top card of set 5. Like I would still put him number 1 in terms of sheer power level, but it's just been harder to actually like. I thought it'd be more obvious. Like okay, jam him and Kira, and like all of a sudden you're winning every game. But like
right,
that you get to use his ability, and like there's a lot of times where I've lost games where I've actually ambushed him and killed 2 things.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. In a vacuum, he's probably the strongest card. He's definitely the strongest card in the set. Probably an argument for the strongest card in the game. He just doesn't have a home right now. Like he needs a deck. Like he just doesn't really fit into a deck.
Yeah, I think
does
he fits
kinda
into
fit
a few
Kira,
good decks.
like-
I think he fits into Kira ECL. I think he fits into Gar ECL. Like I think there are decks that like I think he made
Blue
Gar
green
ECL
ECL,
a
yeah.
deck. Yeah.
I
It's
think
just
the
been hard
problem
with
is
the
he's
mana.
so
Isn't
good
really
that
a
people are
deck.
trying to fit him in more than he should be. Like I think he's very strong, but he needs he is the quintessential good with ECL card, and I think even like sometimes because we're seeing discard be prevalent with force throw, and we're seeing the late game stuff like maybe even maybe Shin Flurry plus him is too clunky. You know what I mean? Like
what
late
did
game
Kira
timely,
cut for
sure,
him
but.
in?
Well,
Like,
Kira didn't
what-
have any 6-drop, so like when you're
Yeah, 6
when you're
was-
playing the ECL version, like obviously you're playing a lot fewer cards, but you're playing a lot. You're eliminating a lot of the top end because you're not expecting to go as late because you're playing down 8 health, so you're kind of front loading your deck to take advantage of ECL and making a big early game swing, sort of in the way we used to do, like ECL Lawn Pike or ECL Gideon, and now you have a 6-cost guy who can also do that, and then you have something that, when combined with Timely, can kill 2 things on any turn and leave a decent body
But
behind.
I'd assume they're shaving some combination of like Maul 7-drop for him.
Yeah, or
I
even
would
like
think.
Avengers, Devastators.
I'd probably
Maul,
shave some of the
Devastators.
Yeah, like I
I'd
don't
probably
know
shave some of the ships.
for what Maul does. I don't know if Vader's better than him in that deck though.
But he
I
just
think
fills
you're
the role of like a 6-cost, whereas that deck had 0 6-costs that were playable.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would play both. I would just cut whatever 8-drop ground units you have, or trim some Star Destroyers. Like I think this deck can turn the corner faster because it's going to go like, flip turn, which is very insane, and you're either doing like flip Barrage, flip Callus, flip Devastating Gunship into Vader and Mauls, and then like you just start beating their heads in. Like I think that's the deck, the ECL deck, more than like the 33 drop big things.
For my Magic folks out there, when I was testing for a Pro Tour in Portland, this is Wingmate Rock, and the format is more defined by like 6-drop Elspeth, and that's where I'm seeing it. It's like it does just kind of get dwarfed by some stuff, even though you're getting such amazing value early on. There's just big things that are on there.
Blue
I
decks
don't
are
know what
just
you're
playing
talking
Luke, killing it, and moving on with their lives.
That is a
Yeah.
good point. Luke just gets him.
One of my choices was Lothwolf. I thought this guy was going to be great, and I think he's been poop stains. What do you guys think? You like this guy?
I
No.
haven't played him in anything.
Like,
Yeah.
I
Doesn't
played
I
against
have
like a blue. What's his name?
They threw him
Azuda.
out. Chancellor
That played
Palp or
that had
whatever.
to like work for a Battlefield Marine.
Yeah,
And
I
then
think
they
he's
just
good.
don't
in general.
attack.
Yeah, I mean, attacking is great. We should all do it.
Yeah, I'm good on Lothwolf for now.
Yeah, I just thought he was going to be really good, and he's
Me too.
not. This is a guy that I didn't. I guess like I didn't think he was insane until I played with him or against him the first time, and I was like, oh my god, this is absolute gas.
Yeah,
to
dude,
the point
he
where I
just
think this
doesn't
might be
look
one
like
of the
that.
more meta warping cards that we have, because you like this guy like single-handedly bricks Ray Data Vault. Like you'll never kill it. He's like you don't have anything that will defeat it through attacks until you get to Luke.
Yeah.
So like he just sits there bricking entire turns, and even like Quinlan and a blaster doesn't kill this guy. Plo Koon
Especially
doesn't.
with like Kata taking takedowns out of his Raid Data Vault. There's no way.
Arcsaber Sabine doesn't kill him, which is wild.
Right. Crazy.
Dude, Chira is so good.
And Plo Koon will kill him, but you gotta flip. You gotta flip first or have pinged him already.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean I'm really high on this guy too. Like the force spaces like are easy to get multiple triggers. So like at least the common ones. And
like
so
he
like
himself
he just
triggered. He triggers himself. As
Right.
long as
he
they're
hits.
on-
Yeah, he attacks. Yeah.
He just attacks.
He's so
powered
good.
Up.
I think
In my Talzin list, I'm not even playing Darth Tyrannus anymore. I'm just playing him instead, and that's crazy because Darth Tyrannus like gives the force and triggers the Talzin stuff. But this is just more important. You can kill anything in Talzin already, but you can't block attacks, and he's the only thing that does it on this scale. Anything like so many things in that Talzin deck can go kill stuff. But only
I'm gonna give everyone at home a new tip. Whenever you see FFG spoilers for Star Wars Unlimited, you go and you take all the uncommons, and in there will be the best card from the set.
Really uncommon. It's accurate. Not wrong.
You think he's the best card from the set, though?
I mean, he's probably top.
You think he's better
top
than
3.
KTOD?
Yeah.
KTOD's a uncommon too.
Also an uncommon.
Yeah. So that's like, yeah.
He's not better than Vader in those cards.
No, he's not better than Vader, but like he's a top 5 card in the set as an uncommon. Maybe.
You think KTOD is better than Vader?
Potentially.
Yeah, I do too.
It's got more wide range application.
I mean, these are uncommons, so
sure.
they're clearly better than the best legendary.
But like, isn't that insane?
Yeah.
Like, just go pick the uncommons, buy all the uncommons. Then there you go. You will have some of the best cards of the game, which is pretty cool.
It's like Snapcaster Mage.
Ray, Maddie, this is one of the ones that you really liked.
I know everyone is hating on Ray. I've been having so much fun with Ray.
Yeah, but have you been winning?
Yeah, dude. All
It's
right.
great to have fun, but like, I mean-
yeah, dude. I think she's like not hard to get off at all. Like between R2D2, the cycle
really, bro? You had to go there.
Parental guidance.
Yeah, I'm not
Come
saying
on.
no.
I've been using her in Yoda a lot, and I do think that like it does add something to that deck. But I think like as a plan 1, I have so much draw in that deck that it's hard to get it going. That I think like if I can't get it crushing in Yoda, I just find it hard to believe that it's like
in
insane.
Yoda after.
Psychometry, dude. Dig
Inside.
5 cards. That card is so sick. Have you guys tried it
Psychometry's
yet?
good. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Psychometry's sweet.
How about Foresight?
Psychometry.
Foresight work?
R2 is 3 cards. Kiaria Mundi. That's like already so much draw.
Just play C-3PO and just name 5. You have like 3 5s.
I do that in Yoda. I just name 5, just blind 5, because when you do hit it, it's crazy.
Name.
Yeah.
You just have to get
I
the
think
engine going once.
Yeah, I think the only thing that kind of, not only thing, but like getting her in play, getting her out there after like it isn't the most overwhelming thing. She's pretty vanilla. Hantu Yellow, at least you can play like a 5/3 for 4 resources. Like not the worst thing. I think that's where I'm trying to find more application. Like, should I be playing sneak attacks and just throwing her at things in late game? But yeah, I think there's a lot of ways. Like, I guess my point is we saw her and, she was underwhelming because it was like you had to draw during the action phase. But I think they've injected a lot of card draw and a lot of like digging, like Owen digs.
Owen good.
I think there's a lot of digging, like recruit.
Does Owen? Will Owen trigger her?
Yeah.
It's look at the top 5, then
A lot
draw.
of the
So like
cards
that's
say,
what I'm
draw
talking
things
about.
that
Take
like
it to
it.
hand, draw it into hand. So like anything that would go find it does.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I think there's a lot of ways to like look at a million cards and then pick her. Which
I think
like.
it's good. It's
I
just
wish there
when
was more ways to put her on top.
Even
I
when
know
I'm
the real
doing it with
problem
Yoda
was-
and every turn, it's like it's still not good enough when I'm able to like even the games when everything's going perfect and I'm easily like I'm not even working that hard. I'm just like playing a Resistance X-wing or Red Squadron X-wing. I'm playing Kiadi Mundi and I'm hitting it every turn. It's still not swinging the game, which is why I don't like it.
Is
It's just
is it like the action economy that's like, because like maybe Yoda's not it. Like maybe she's gonna be good in another like with a better leader if someone ever
I
lets you
think
manipulate the
where
top. But
she
I think
would
it's
be
easier
really
to trigger
good
her.
is in an aggro deck. and the aggro decks have no way to trigger her.
Well, I don't know.
Or
If
get
right,
her off.
it's harder to like get there. Yeah.
you can play you can play you can play
Like the 2
recruit
damage to a
and-
base isn't really significant in a control deck.
Right.
Yeah, I've been playing it more tempo aggro, yellow, like Hantu yellow. Like I tried to play it in the mid range stuff with like the force duck that draw like a 5-drop that looks at the top 5 cards and like stuff like that. But
It's wild.
The only
little-
thing I haven't tried it with that I kind of would like to at some point try or hope someone sends me is with Snap, like an aggro space deck with Snap Wexley.
yeah, I tried that with like Hantu with like all resistance stuff. There's still not enough resistance. Like it was just like a bad Hantu deck.
I tried it in the Kylo because like you rummage and stuff, but it's hard because of then she just sits and you have to like lose a card to put her in for Anakin. I was like, that could be cool, but
Yeah.
I think the other Ray could be really good in Kylo. Just still such a mopey deck.
Yeah, I think that Ray could be good somewhere too. Cheer it, specifically healing and shielding Cheer it every turn seems like completely crazy.
Yeah.
All my race stands, hit me in the comments.
All right, that's it. I guess that was the last one. Cool.
all right.
Great. So, all right. That's it for us. Unless you guys have anything else you want to chat about real quick.
I will post in the comments my actual PQ performance. It'll
Yeah,
probably
let's
be
go.
aligned with
You got this, man. Good luck, buddy.
no do mop, but we'll see.
No,
All right,
you got
good
this.
luck this weekend.
You got it, bro.
All
I
right.
have faith.
Thanks for watching.
Deuces.
We'll check you next time.